Welcome to another episode of the End Goal Podcast with me, Entro Arish. The End Goal Podcast is basically a chronicling of my experiences through achieving the goals in my life that I've already achieved and the ones that I'm yet to achieve, along with stories and anecdotes from myself and my friends, in terms of all of our own obstacles that we faced, our own insights that we've gathered from our lives, our own solutions that we've found ourselves or together. And this podcast is to share that with all of you. That way, maybe we all can learn and grow together. So, good morning. I hope your week's been a great week. I had kind of a lower week myself. A lot of things happened this week that really just took a toll on my brain, on my mental health. Not my mental health, but just took a toll on my thinking, on my brain activity for the whole week basically. But I'm hoping to push through all of that and get into the next week this upcoming week still ready to tackle all the goals that I have for myself, and I hope that you are also ready to do the same. So today's episode is more so about the misconceptions around goals, goal setting, goal planning, all those things. I have about 5 misconceptions for you that I kind of want to walk through with you guys, and hopefully we all get to a general understanding together. But as always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to leave them in the comments of this video. Head over on Instagram and DM me if you have any questions. Email me if you want to. But let's get into the first misconception, and that is that people think, or let's just keep it like this, right? You think you're entitled to success. You think that you deserve something. And the truth of the matter is, nobody is entitled to anything, and none of us deserves anything. We put in work. We put in really hard work to earn what we think we want, need, desire. But if you operate in the realm of I deserve something or I'm entitled to it, what happens is you develop an expectation, right? You develop an expectation that this should be given to me, or I should have this based on whatever I've done. And in the event that you don't get it, because of that expectation, now you have disappointment. Expectations literally breed disappointment because you expected something and it didn't happen, so that you were upset or disappointed about it. So if you can curb your thinking or curb your desire for something in terms of I'm entitled to it, I deserve it, it's mine, it's my birthright, all those things that sometimes people think, if you can change that into I've worked really hard for this, I'm going to try and earn it. I know that I might not get it the same way somebody else gets it, but I'm going to work really hard for it. And if I don't get it, at least I tried, I put in the work for it, etc. Maybe I'll learn some other things along the way. That will help you not be as upset, negative. It'll help your mental health in the future, not expecting things to happen the way you expect them to happen. Once again, you're not entitled to anything. All of us put in work day to day to get what we want. So you're not entitled to somebody else's outcome. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So the first question that I have for you is, do you think you're entitled to something? Do you think that you are entitled to the success that you're chasing after? Think about that. The next misconception is that everybody starts off at the same baseline. And the fact of the matter and the reality of the matter is that none of us starts off the same. Nobody here starts off the same. Yeah, sure, we were all born, and yes, we're all going to die. But our conditions from the day we are born are all different, right? Some people come from low-income housing. Some people come from, or low-income families. Some people come from very high net worth, high income, high profile. Some people, if you're somebody who's like the first entrepreneur in your family, things might be harder for you than somebody whose family actually has a business and runs a business. So they already know the ups and downs way earlier than you do. Things like that, right? So everybody has a different baseline. So everybody has a different starting line for a lot of what they're doing. And so if you can think about what is your competitive advantage against somebody else who started off differently than you, that is going to propel you forward even faster than thinking, man, listen, if only I just had the money, if only I just grew up with this, if only I had this, right? If only doesn't matter. what do I have, right? I'm intelligent. I respond quickly. Have a good work ethic. I'm punctual. I um I'm very resourceful. I have a network. A lot of things that you have, somebody else may not have, right? I might have money, but I might not have a network. You may not have money, but you do have a network to get money from. Things like that, right? So if you can change your mindset from what do I not have and why is somebody doing better than me? What do they have that I don't? Into, okay, what do I have that somebody else might not have? And how can I leverage that competitive advantage? That'll just skyrocket your productivity, your efficiency, your effectiveness, and honestly increases the chance of your success if you're operating in a realm of what you're already good at versus trying to make something that you're not good at, something that you're moderately average at. Does that make sense? So the question here is, what is your competitive advantage? Do you have a competitive advantage, and what is it? We all have one. I promise you, you just need to find yours. The next misconception is if you put in the same work as someone else, their timeline should also be the same as yours. And this is kind of a culmination of the past two misconceptions where, everybody starts off differently. So everybody's timeline is once again different. Your timeline is not going to be the same as somebody else's because you started off at a different point in the race as somebody else did. You started off at a different point in life as somebody else did. I get really annoyed and really frustrated with a lot of internet marketing on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and all these creators saying, here's how to do this quick and easy, and here's how you can make six figures. If you can download an app, you can start a six-figure business. Like, all those things are just clouding the fact that you can do what I'm telling you what to do, but it's not going to work the same way for you as it did for me. Not many people are really going to tell you that because otherwise you wouldn't listen to them. But not many people are going to tell you, you can do the exact same steps that I just told you to do, but you won't get the same result as I did. Why would you listen to somebody like that, right? But that's something you have to accept. You have to accept the fact that I can do verbatim what someone else is telling me to do, and it might have worked for them, but it won't work for me. It just won't work for you. It won't work for me. It won't work for you. And that's something that we have to accept. And once we accept that, then we can operate in a broader range of actions, right? We can think about, okay, I'm going to do this thing to the T, but if it doesn't work out for me, what else can I do to make it work out for me? What else extra do I need to add for myself in order to succeed versus somebody else who didn't need that extra step? And that's okay if you need an extra step. That's okay if you need something extra to get to what you want. And everybody is different. So then my question to you is, what do you think your timeline is? What do you want your timeline to be? Are you operating on a 3 to 5 year season timeline? Are you operating on a year by year basis? Are you operating on a 6 month by 6 month standard? What is your timeline in terms of the goals that you're going for right now? Let me know. The next misconception, this is a heavy one. The next misconception is that you will be happy once you achieve your success. And the fact of the matter is, many times we're not happy because the amount of time and energy and just blood and sweat and tears that we poured into something to make it work, and we feel so proud that it worked. But sometimes you take a step back and think, wow, that didn't really make me as happy as I thought it did. And then you have to think about, why it didn't make you happy? Well, maybe because I'm the only one here and everybody else I left behind. I didn't bring anybody with me to enjoy in this success. Maybe you let people go. Maybe you let relationships go. Maybe you let yourself go. I had to bury a lot of parts of myself in order to pull out other parts of myself in order to do the work that need to be done to then succeed. But then now I'm unhappy. And that's an unfortunate reality. That's an unfortunate thing that can happen. That can happen to you. It can happen to me. It probably has happened to me in the past, and it definitely would probably happen to you. It's a very blunt way of putting it. You probably won't be happy if you try and cut down to 5% body fat, because what's the sustainability of that? You'll just go back up to 8, 9, 10, and then you'll quote unquote fluff out again. But then you might be just emotionally happier because of the food you're eating and the way your body feels, and you're not starving yourself. And then mentally you're mentally feeling stronger and less foggy and less clouded. Similarly, maybe you don't feel as happy putting on like 10, 15 pounds. Maybe you should have stopped at 5 and maintained for a little bit until you got used to like how it feels to look bigger, feel bigger, lift more, whatever it is. Right? So accepting that you could be unhappy at the end, but I still want to do this, but let me just do it in a way that I can maybe more so ensure that how can I be happy at the end of this? How can I make sure that I'm happy when I achieve my goals? And if you take a step back and think about what makes you happy, well, I'm happy because I like to stay active every day and then still work. But if I have to give up being active every day and sitting in front of a desk and grinding for 12 hours a day, ruining my mobility, ruining my musculature, ruining my body in order to achieve the success, I probably won't be happy, and then I have to start from ground one. So let me try and build that in right now. That way, when I do succeed, and maybe it'll push my success out 6 months to a year, but when I get there, I'll be healthy, still mentally strong, and I would have gotten where I wanted. I can be happy with that. And maybe your happiness is, well, I don't want to let go of my friendships that I have. How can I bring my friends into my success? Can we work together, or can I just go meet people every week? Can I build time into my week to go meet people and still be social and still keep up my relationships? That way, when I do succeed, I can celebrate with people instead of closing myself off for how many every years, going hermit mode basically to achieve your goals. And then you come out and then you're coming out, I succeeded, guys. Look at what I did. And no one's there with you. That would really suck. So maybe you can bring people along with you, and that'll make you happy along the way. All of these things are just things for you to think about, things that I've thought about myself. I've thought about going hermit mode plenty of times. I'm not in the point in my life where I can do that anymore. I have a fiance. I'm going to be married. I can't go hermit mode. I have friends who are also trying to grind and succeed towards their goals with me. Therefore, I refuse to leave them for myself. I believe that I can go forth and conquer my own goals paralleled with my friends, and we can teach each other along the way, and we can help each other along the way. I will be happier when I can celebrate with all of us together versus, hey, look at what I achieved, and then maybe the response is lackluster because I left everybody how many ever years ago. So think about what'll make you happy at the end goal. And the last misconception, which kind of goes back to point number 3, is it is as easy as it looks online. It's not as easy as it looks online. It's never as easy as it looks online because it's curated to look easy online. That way you'll watch the video. That way you'll try the steps. That way you'll buy the courses. That way you'll do all this stuff. It's never easy, and I'm never going to sugarcoat it for you. Nothing is easy anymore. It's easier than the past, but there's also a level of difficulty to it, right? Access to things is easier than the past, but then action is hard. Making yourself seem unique or different in a competitive market is hard because there's so many competitors now, because access and barriers to entry are lower. Access is easier. It's easier maybe to get money nowadays, but at the same time, it's not easy to get money because there's so many scams going around, or there's so many like unknowns in terms of how to earn extra income on the side or whatever it is. A lot of the times we're working long hour jobs and we don't have the energy to do a service-based business. Can I do something digitally? Well, digitally has its ups and downs. Do I have the time to commit to do something digitally, etc.? So it's never as easy as it looks online. I would really like to caution you in believing that anybody tells you just follow this 5-step plan and you'll succeed guaranteed, or your money back. I hate those kind of things because they're so riddled with just cheeky persuasion. The whole thing about make this hook a negative so it captures your attention. It's very curated. It's very scripted. It's not realistic. Unfortunately, a lot of us don't want to watch realistic online, which is why those kind of videos and those kind of lessons and those kind of actions don't work online, and I get that. But once again, I want to be real with you. It's never as easy as it looks online. So always expect to face hardships, mainly because what was easy for somebody else can be hard for you, because the obstacles that they had in their life to overcome are not the same ones that you have in your life to overcome. It was easy for them because their obstacles in their life maybe didn't counteract what they were trying to achieve, but the obstacles in your life are trying to counteract what you're trying to achieve, you know? So think about, and here's my question to you. What are your hardships in life? What are your obstacles that you're currently facing that are stopping you from achieving your goal? And then take a step back and think, is this as easy as it's supposed to be? And am I making it harder myself? Or, okay, this is going to be a difficult thing for me. I have to accept it's going to be difficult. And because it's difficult, it might take a little bit more time. It's going to take more energy. I'm going to have to slow down and really think things through. I cannot be hasty. All these things come once you accept that this isn't as easy as 1, 2, 3. And I want to go back to the whole concept of a timeline, because it's really important to understand how much time do you have, how much time do you want to spend, and how much time have you already spent. I talked about this previously, but I'm a very big fan and a proponent of visualizations in terms of your life. I did purchase a 4 weeks poster, a My Life in Weeks poster made by 4 weeks, and I'm a very proud affiliate with them. I really appreciate the work that they've done, and I love my poster because it just put things into a new perspective for me. And now I know what time I have, or I have a different idea of what time I have. And it's helping me think about things aren't as bad as they seem. I'm at a different stage in my life than I thought I was. I'm at a different time in my life than I thought I was. And I want to challenge you not to go pick this up because I told you to, okay? Not to go pick it up because I told you to, but I want to challenge you to think about your timeline. And can you find a way to visualize your timeline in a way that maybe gives you a little bit of motivation and urgency, but at the same time doesn't give you anxiety and stress in terms of a deadline, right? It's a very weird, it's a very unhealthy, but like it's a very tricky thing to balance is, you know, I want to be motivated and urgent and working towards my goals constantly, but I don't want to feel like I'm always trying to catch up. I'm anxious. I'm stressed because I'm not where I'm supposed to be according to my timeline, according to my deadlines, according to my previous plan, right? There's a little bit of flexibility that has to go along with that. Once again, I am a very proud affiliate with 4 weeks. They made my Life in Weeks poster. I'm actually thinking about getting a larger one because the one I have, I really like to mark up, but I do kind of want a larger one just to frame and keep and not mark up. And also because it's larger, it's also easier to see. The one in the back that I have, you have to kind of be a little bit closer to it to see everything. But if you are interested in a My Life in Weeks poster by 4 weeks, you can go to 4weeks.com/intro or use my code intro at checkout for 5% off. And if you do get it, let me know. We can be buddies together and we can talk about it. Or if you're still on the fence, feel free to message me and I can talk to you about why I got it candidly. And I'll tell you if it's for you or not, you know? I appreciate you listening this far. And once again, thank you for listening to another episode. This episode was about misconceptions around goals, goal setting, goal planning, and our goals in general. I hope you learned something today, and I hope to learn something from you in the future, even if it's not today. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to leave them in the comment section of this video, or head over on Instagram and DM me, or email me, whatever you want to do. I love discussions. I'm always open to chatting. As always, have a great day. Have a great rest of your week. I hope you're able to conquer something this week, whatever it is. Make the smallest goal for yourself this week and conquer it. And I'll catch you guys next week. Bye-bye.